Patriots turn incontinent. Obedience failed in children. Slaves and fools pluck thy great wrinkled senate from the bench and minister in their steads. Maid, to thy master's bed, thy mistress's over brothel. Plague, incident to men, your potent and infectious fever, heap upon Athens ripe for stroke. Lust and liberty creep in the minds and marrows of our youth, that 'gainst their stream of virtue they may stride, and drown themselves in riot. Itches, blades, so all the Athenian bosom, their crop be general leprosy. Breath, infect breath at their society, as their friendship may merely poison. Timon will to the woods, where he shall find the unkindest of beasts, more kind than mankind, and grant, as Timon grows, that his hate may grow to the whole race of mankind, high and low. Amen.
Wear Timon's livery, that see I by our faces. We are fellows still, serving alike in sorrow. Leaked is our bark, and we poor mates stand on the dying deck, hearing the surge's threat. We must all part into the sea of air. Good fellows all. The latest of my fortunes I'll share with you. Wherever we shall meet, for Timon's sake, let's yet be fellows. Let's shake our heads and say, as 'twere a knell unto our master's fortunes, we have seen better days. Let each take some. Nay, put out all your hands, and one word more. Part we, rich in sorrow, parting poor. Oh, this wretchedness that glory brings us. Who would not wish to be from wealth exempt, since riches point to misery and contempt? Who would be so mocked with glory? Or to live but in a dream of friendship? To have his pomp and all what state compounds, but only painted like his varnished friends. Lord, brought low by his own heart, undone by goodness. Who then dares to be half so kind again? For bounty, which makes gods, does still mar men. Dearest Lord, blessed to be most accursed, rich only to be wretched, thy greatest fortunes are now thy chief afflictions. His fun from his ingrateful
of monstrous friends, nor has he with him to supply his life, nor that which can command it. I will follow and inquire him out. I will ever serve him with my best will. Whilst I have gold, I'll be his steward still.
O blessed breeding sun, draw from the earth rotten humidity. Raise me this beggar, denieth that Lord. The senator shall bear contempt hereditary, the beggar native honor. There is nothing level in our cursed nature except direct villainy. Therefore be abhorred all feasts, societies, and throngs of men. Destruction bang mankind. Earth, yield me roots. What is here? Gold. Yellow. Glittering. Precious gold. Why, thus much of this will make black white, foul fair, wrong right, base noble, old, young, and coward, valiant wife. This will pluck your servants and your priests from your sides, pluck stout men's pillows from below their heads. This yellow slave will knit and break religions. Go. The drum! Thou art quick, but yet I'll bury thee. Thou wilt go strong, thief, when gouty keepers of men cannot stand. Nay, stay thou art for earnest. What art thou? Speak. A beast, as thou art. Canker gnaw thy heart for again showing me the eyes of man.
What is thy name? Is man so hateful to thee that art thyself a man?
I am misanthropos, and hate all mankind. For thy part, I do wish thou were a dog, so that I might love thee something.
Oh, I know thee well, but in thy fortune am strange and unlearned.
I know thee too, and more than I know thee, I not desire to know. Follow thy drum, with man's blood paint the ground. Civil laws are cruel, then what should war be? Fine, whore if thou hath in her more destruction than thou sword, for all her cherubim looks.
Thy lips rot off.
I will not kiss thee. Then the wrath returns to thine own lips again.
How came the noble Timon to this change?
As the moon does, by wanting light to give. But then renew I could not, and like the moon there were no suns to borrow of.
Noble Timon, what friendship can I do thee?
None, but to maintain my opinion.
What is it, Timon?
Promise me friendship, but perform none. If thou wilt not promise, the gods plague thee, for thou art a man. If thou dost not perform, confound thee, for thou art a man.
Is this the Athenian minion that the world voice so regardfully?
Art thou Commandra?
Yes?
Be whore still. They love thee not that use thee. Give them diseases, leaving thee with their lust. Make use of your salt hours. Season the slaves for the tubs and the baths. Bring down our rose-cheeked youths to the tubs fast and the diet.
Pen thee, monster.
Pardon him, sweet Timandra, for his wits are drowned and lost in his calamities. I have little gold of late, the want for which doth daily make revolt of my pernicious band.
Get thee gone. I had rather be alone.
I am thy friend, and pity thee, dear Timon.
How dost thou pity who, Thou dost trouble. I want to be alone.
Farewell then. Here is some gold.
Keep it. I cannot eat it.
When I have laid proud Athens upon a heap,
Thou warst against Athens.
I and have cause, Timon.
Confounded to thee, and to them in all thy conquest, and to thy after thou hast conquered.
Why me, Timon?
By that killing of villains, thou wast born to conquer my country. Put up thy gold. Put it up! Here's gold. Gold to pay soldiers. Make large confusion. In thy fury spent, confounded be thyself. Speak not! Get thee gone.
Hast thou gold yet? Well, I will take the gold thou givest me, not all thy counsel.
Dost thou or dost thou not? Heaven's curse upon thee.
Give us some gold, good Timon. Hast thou more?
Enough to make a whore forswear her trade, and to make whores a bawd. Lift up, you sluts, your aprons mountainous. You are not oathable, although I know you'll swear. Terribly swear in the strong shutters, and heavenly argues the immortal gods that hear you. Spare your oaths. I will trust to your conditions. Be whore still, and he whose pious breath seeks to convert you. Be strong in whore. Allure him. Burn him up. Let his close fire predominate your smoke. Wear with them. Betray with them. Paint until a horse may mire upon your face a box of wrinkles.
Well, more gold. What's that? Believe it that will do anything for gold.
Consumption sow in the hollow bones of men. Strike their sharp shins and mar men's spurring. And then let the unscarred braggart war derive some pain from you. Plague all, that your activity may quell and defeat the source of all erection. There's more gold. Do you damn others, and let this damn you, and ditches graves to you all.
More counsel with more money, bounteous Timon.
More whore, more mischief first. I have given you an earnest.
Come, strike towards Athens. Farewell, Timon. If I thrive well, I shall visit thee again.
If I hope well, I will see thee not again.
I have never done thee harm.
Yes, thou spokest well of me.
Callest thou that harm?
Men daily find it. Get thee gone, and take thy beagles with thee.
We do but offend. Come, strike.
Oh, a root! Dear thanks. More men! Plague! Plague!
I was directed hither. Men report thou dost affect my manners and dost use them.
'Tis then, because thou dost not keep a dog whom I would imitate. Consumption catch thee.
This is in me a nature but infected, a poor, unmanly melancholy, sprung from change of fortune. Why this spade, this place, this slave-like habit, and these looks of care? Thy flatterers yet wear still, hug their diseased perfumes, and have forgot that Timon ever was. Shame not these woods. Hinge thy knee, and let his very breath, whom thou'st observed, blow off thy cap. Praise his most vicious strain, and call it excellent. Thou wast told thus. Thou gavest thine ears like tapsters that bid welcome to knaves and all approachers. 'Tis most just that thou turn rascal. Hadst thou wealth again, rascals should have it. Do not assume my likeness.
If I were like thee, I'd throw away myself.
Thou hast cast away thyself, being like thyself, a madman, so long. Now, a fool. Oh, thou shalt
A
find.
fool of thee? Depart!
I love thee better now than e'er I did.
I hate thee worse.
Why?
Thou flatterest misery. thyself in it?
Aye.
What, a knave too?
If thou didst put this sour cold habit on to castigate thy pride, 'twere well. But thou dost it enforcedly. Thou'dst courtier be again, wert thou not beggar. Wheeling misery outlives in certain pomp, is crowned before. The one is filling, still never complete. The other, at high wish, best state, contentless, hath a most wretched and distracted being, worse than the worst. Content. Thou shouldst desire to die being miserable.
Not by her breath that is more miserable. Thou art a slave, whose fortune's tender arm with favor never clasped, but bred a dog. But myself, who had the world as my confectionery, the tongues, mouths, eyes, hearts of men of duty, more than I could frame in coin. Numbness sat upon me, as leaves do on the oak, high with one witless brush, fell from the boughs and left me open and bare for every storm that blows. Get thee gone. If thou wert not born the worst of women, thou art a knave and a flatterer.
Art thou proud yet?
I, that I am not Appamenta.
I, that I was no prodigal.
I, that I am one now. Were all the wealth I have shut up in thee, I would give thee leave to hang it. Oh, were all the life of Athens in this, thus I would eat it.
Here, I will mend thy feast.
First, mend my company. Take away thyself.
So shall I mend mine own by lack of thine.
'Tis not so mended well. 'Tis but botched, if not, I would it were.
What wouldst thou have? To Athens?
Ye thither in a whirlwind. If thou wilt, tell them I have gold. Look, so I have.
Here's no use for gold.
Oh, the best and truest, for here it sleeps and does no hired harm.
Where liest tonight, Timon?
Under that's above me, where feedest thou, O days, Appamenta?
Where my stomach finds meat, or rather, where I eat it.
If poison were obedient and knew my mind,
Where wouldst thou send it?
to sauce thy dishes.
The middle of humanity thou never knewest, but the extremity of both ends. When thou wast in thy guilt and thy perfume, they mocked thee for too much curiosity. In thy rags thou knowest none, and art despised for the contrary. There's a medlar for thee, eat it.
On what I hate, I feed not.
Dost hate a medlar?
Aye, though it look like thou.
And thou hadst hated meddlers sooner, thou shouldst have loved thyself better now. What man didst thou ever know unthrift that was beloved after his means?
Who without those means dost thou talkest of?
Myself.
Didst thou ever know beloved?
Myself.
Aye, I can understand thee. But thou hast some means to keep a dog.
What things in the world canst thou nearest compare to thy flatterers?
Women, most. But men are the things themselves. What would thou do with the world, Appamenta, if it lay in thy power?
Give it to the beasts to be rid of the men.
Would thou have thyself lay in the confusion of the beast, and be a beast with the beast?
Aye, Timon.
A beastly ambition, and one the gods grant thee attain to. If thou were the lion, the fox would beguile thee. If thou were the lamb, the fox would eat thee. If thou were the fox, the lion would suspect thee. If thou were the ass, the dullness would torment thee, and still thou livest but at a breakfast for the wolf. If thou were the wolf, the greediness would afflict thee. What sort of beast would without me, that were not subject to a beast. And what a beast art thou already, that seest not seest not the loss and transformation.
If thou couldst please me with speaking to me, thou mightest have hit upon it here. The Commonwealth of Athens has become a forest of beasts.
How has the ass broke the wall that thou art out of the city?
Plague of company, light upon thee. I will fear to catch it and give way. When I know not what else to do, I'll see thee again.
When there is nothing living with thee, thou shalt be welcome. I had rather be a beggar's dog than Apamenta.
Thou art the cat of all the fools alive.
Would thou wert clean enough to spit upon
A plague on thee, thou art too bad to curse.
all villains that do stand by thee are
There
pure.
is no leprosy but what thou speakest.
If I speak thee, I'll beat thee, but I should infect my
I
hand.
would my tongue would rot them off.
Away, thou issue of a mangy dog! Collar does kill me that thou art still alive. I swoon to see thee.
Wouldst thou would burst?
Away, thy tedious rogue! I am sorry that I shall lose a stone by thee!
Beast!
Knave!
Toad!
Rogue, rogue, rogue! I am sick of this false world and will love naught but the mere necessities upon it. Then, Timon presently prepare thy grave. Lie where the light foam of sea may beat upon thy gravestone daily. Make thine epitaph, that death in me others' lives may last. Oh, thy sweet king killer, thou visible God that soldierest close in possibilities and makest them kiss, with a touch of hearts that speakest in every tongue to every nation think. Thy slave man rebels, and by thy virtue set them into confounding odds, that beasts may rule the world.
Would 'twere so, but not till I am dead. I'll say thou hast schooled. Thou wilt be thronged too shortly.
Thrown to
Aye,
thy back, I prithee.
live and love thy misery.
Long so live, and so die. I am quit.
Dear gods, yon despised and ruinous man, my lord, full of decay and failing. Viler thing upon the earth, and friends who can bring noblest minds to basest ends. How rarely does it meet with this time's guise when man was wished to love his enemies. Present my honest grief unto him, and as my lords to serve him with my life. My dearest master,
Away! What art thou?
have you forgot me, sir?
Why dost thou ask? I have forgotten all mankind, and then, if thou grant'st thou art a man, I have forgotten thee.
An honest poor servant of yours?
Then I know thee not. For I never had an honest person about me. All I kept were knaves to serve and meat to villains.
I beg of you to know me, good my lord, to accept my grief, and whilst this poor wealth lasts, to entertain me as your steward still.
Had I a servant so true, so just, and now so comfortable, which almost turns my dangerous nature mild, let me behold thy face. Forgive my general can accept rashness. Oh, you sober gods, I do proclaim one honest person, mistake me not, but one. No more, I pray, and she's a steward. But tell me true, for I must never doubt, but ere so sure, is not your kindness subtle, covetous, if not of the usury kind, and as rich men deal in gifts, expecting in return 20 for 1?
No. Most worthy master, it is brass doubts and suspect the last are placed too late. That which I show, heaven knows, is merely love. Duty and zeal to your unmatched mind, care of your food and living and breathing, my most honored Lord, for any benefit that points to me either in doubt or suspect.
Here. Take. The gods, out of my misery, have sent thee treasure. Go live rich and happy, but thus conditioned. Thou shalt build from men. Hate all, curse all, show charity to none. Let the famished flesh slide from their bone. Here to relieve from the beggar and give to the dog what thou hast deniest man. Let prison swallow them up. Debts wither into nothing. Be men like blasted woods. May diseases lick up their false bloods. And so, farewell. And thrive.
Let me stay and comfort you, my master.
If thou hatest curses, stay not. Fly, while thou art blessed and free. Ne'er see this man again, and ne'er let me see thee.
Peace and content be here. Lord Timon, look out and speak with friends. The Athenians, by 2 of their most reverend senate, greet thee. Speak to them, noble Timon.
Worthy Timon,
Of none but such of you, and you of Timon.
the Senate of Athens greet thee, Timon.
I thank them, and would send them back the plague, but I could catch it for them.
The senators with one consent of love entreat thee to return.
They confess toward thee forgetfulness too general, gross, and send forth us to make their sorrow render together with a recompense more fruitful than their offense when weighed down by the dram. Aye, even such heaps and sums of love and wealth as shalt thee blot out what wrongs were theirs, and write in thee figures of their love, ever to read them thine. Therefore, please thee to return with us, and of our Athens, thine and ours, to take the captainship. Thou shalt be met with thanks, allowed absolute power, and thy good name live with authority. So soon we shall drive back of Alcibiades the approaches wild, like a boar too savage to root up his country's peace and shakes his threatening sword against the walls of Athens.
Let Alcibiades know this of Timon, that Timon cares not. For be sat fair of Athens, and take our goodly aged men by the beards, giving our holy virgins to the stain of Pontum Julius' beastly mad-brained war, then let him know this. And tell him I speak it in pity of our aged in our youth, that I care not. Let him take it at worst, for their knives care not, while there are throats to answer. For me there's not a whittle in this unruly camp, but that I do prize it at my love before the reverendest throats of Athens. And so I leave you to the protection of your prosperous gods.
Stay not. All's in vain.
Why? I was writing my epitaph that will be seen tomorrow. My long sickness of living and health now begin to mend, and nothing brings me all things. Go, live still.
Trouble him no further, lest you still shall think.
The Alcibiades your curse, and you his, and last so long enough.
We speak in vain.
And yet, I love my country, and I am not one to rejoice in the common wreck, as the common brute doth put it.
'Tis nobly spoke.
Commend me to my countrymen, and tell them that to ease them of their griefs, their fears of hostile strokes, their aches, losses, their pangs of love, with other incident throes, that nature's fragile vessel doth sustain in life's uncertain voyage. I will some kindness do them. I'll teach them to prevent wild Alcibiades' wrath.
I like this well. He will return again.
There is a tree that grows close here in my fell, that my own use invites me to cut down, and shortly must I fell it. Now, my friends, tell Athens in the sequence of degree, from high to low throughout, that he who so pleased to stop affliction, let him take his haste, come hither, and hang himself. Come not to me again, but say to Athens, Timon hath made his everlasting mansion on the beached verge of the salt flood. Let my gravestone be thy oracle. Lips, let few words go by, and language end. What is amiss? Let plague and infection mend. Graves only be men's work, and death their gain. Sun, hide thy beams. Timon hath done his reign.
Our hope in him is dead. We must return and strain what other means is left unto us in our dear peril.
It requires swift foot.
doesn't outlive a man. Dead. Sure. And this is real. Before proud Athens, he set down methods whose fall the mark of his ambitions.
Sound to this coward and lascivious town our terrible approach. Tell now, you have gone and filled your time all in licentious measure, making your wills the scope of justice. Tell now, myself and such have slept in the shadow of thy power. Now the time is flushed and cries of itself, no more!
Noble and young were thy first priests, but a mere conceit. Ere thou had power, we had cause of fear. We sent to thee, to give thy righteous balm, to wipe out our ingratitude with loves above their quantity.
So did we woo, transforming Timon to our city's love by humble message and promised means. We were not all unkind, nor all deserve the common stroke of war.
These walls of ours were not erected by their hands from whom you ever received your griefs. Nor are they such that these great towers, trophies, and schools should fall in private faults of them.
March, noble lord, into our city with thy banner spread, by decimation and tithing death. If thou revengest hunger for that food which nature loathes, take thou the destined tenth. By the hazard of the spotted die, let die the spotted.
All have not offended from those that were, nor is it square to take from those that are revenges. Crimes like land are not inherited. And dear countrymen, bring in thy ranks, but leave without thy rage. Spare thy clinging cradle and those kins from whom have offended. Like a shepherd, approach the fold and call the infected forth, but kill not altogether.
What thou wilt, thou rather shalt enforce it with thy smile than hew to it with thy sword.
Set but thy foot against our gates, and they shall open. So thou wilt enter with a gentle heart before, to say thou enter friendly.
Throw thy gold, or any token of thine honor, else that thou shalt use the wars as thy redress, and not as our confusion. All thy power make harbor in our town till we have sealed thy full desire.
Here is my glove. Open up thy uncharged pores, and atone thy fear to my more noble meaning. Not a man shall pass, but shall be rendered to your public laws. To heaviest answer,
'Tis most nobly spoken.
rise and keep thy words.
Noble general, Timon is dead, entombed upon the very hem of the sea. And on his gravestone is some sculpture.
Here lie I, Timon, who alive all men did hate. Pass by and curse thy fill, but pass and stay not here thy gate. These well express in thee thy latter spirits, though thou abhorrest in us our human griefs. Noble Timon is dead, of whose memory hereafter more. Come, take me into your city, and I shall use olive with my sword. Make war breed peace, make peace stint war. Make each prescribe to the other as each other's leech. Let our drums strike.